And you speak to anybody who has immigrated here from another country where they come from totalitarian rule, where they come from tyranny, communism, extremism, and they will see the benefit of why it is that they moved to Canada and why they're concerned today. So it starts with small lies. It starts with social justice type of things, and they use the language, love, diversity, all of these different things, tolerance, to suck us all in, because Canadians are good people, we're caring people, we're loving people, we're accepting people. But I've been saying that there's got to be a limit to tolerance, and I think we've reached that. If we tolerated everything, why do we have prisons? We have prisons because there are laws. Canada has laws, and we expect them to be upheld no matter who you are in this country. You're an elected official and you're violating our rights. You need to be held to account. So what I want to talk to you about today is that Canada is a Judeo-Christian nation, and I want to explain to you why that matters. Because any other country that is built on a different system of belief and values is living under tyranny. Their people are oppressed and they are not free. So I'm not asking you to become a Christian today to live in Canada. I'm asking you to understand that the values that this country was founded on were based on biblical, godly values. Just appreciate that. If you're going to grumble about it and say, why is she talking about this? This is too much religion. It's not about religion. It's about the values. If you don't appreciate these values, why are you here today? Because if you want to live in under tyranny, you wouldn't allow to be here. You wouldn't have the freedom of speech. You wouldn't have the freedom to assemble. These are things that are given to you through a Judeo-Christian system of values. And that is what is underlined for your democracy. That's all I'm asking you to appreciate. And because we were drawn in to believe that, oh no, Canada is not a Christian nation, it's a secular nation. Well, secularism is one small step away from tyranny. And if you don't believe that, what came next from Justin Trudeau? We're no longer a secular nation. That one step is now, we're a post-national state with no core identity. That is what Justin Trudeau calls Canada. All right, so now we've gotten rid of Christianity. We're no longer a secular nation. We're a post-national state with no core identity. Well, what is he doing now? There is a coup going on within our government where they're shuffling in communism. They're filling that gap, whether you like it or not. So what would you prefer for it to be filled with? Tyranny, communism, or Christian values that give you the freedom and democracy to live here in Canada and enjoy the rights and privileges that you have? So when I've been calling on people, and I've been reading the verse, because you know what, I think some things are pretty significant. And so there's a verse in the Bible that goes, where God says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sin, get this, and I will heal their land. That's what I'm asking people to do today. Whether you're a believer or not, I'm asking you to take a leap of faith that this is meaningful, that this matters, and at the very thought that we could be sorry for being so complicit, so apathetic that we have allowed this to happen, that we're allowing the abuse of our elderly, that we are allowing the abuse of our children, that we are allowing the attack against our businesses and our churches. So a godless nation wants our churches shut down. Where are our churches right now? I'm calling on pastors to stand up. You have a constitutional right to assemble and a freedom of religion. So those of you who care, you have that right. So if you've been apathetic and you've been given into this, then I am once again, I'm going to ask people to take a knee with me. I'm going to ask you, whether you're a Christian or not, to consider what I'm saying. Do you have something to repent for? Were you apathetic? Have you given into this? If the answer is yes, then this is for you. Take a leap of faith, because we want God to heal our land. It's necessary.
I literally these days have to come to these types of rallies in order to feel normal and to be around like normal kind of people who haven't been brainwashed and haven't been frightened into wearing a face diaper, and you're my kind of people and the people I want to be around. You haven't been terrified into wearing a mask for something that is really quite comparable to the common flu. But there's a lot of people who are very afraid out there right now, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about, the fear being the virus. For example, have you guys noticed that lately there is a lot more people wearing masks in the grocery stores? I mean, it's really increasing. It used to be closer to 50-50, but now I'm noticing it's more like 90 to 95% of the people in there are wearing masks these days. Case numbers are going up, but that's because the testing is going up. The death rate isn't spiking, but the fear is spiking. So we need to talk about that. And I honestly feel bad for these people because they're scared. They've been watching far too much television, and none of it even makes much sense. So there's a real bizarre cognitive dissonance that is going on in the minds of the masses here. I mean, for example, when you go to the grocery store, you can touch the mushrooms and the strawberries and the tomatoes, but God forbid you put your bag down on the counter. You're not allowed to do that. I know in the one that I shop at, they have these plexiglass things right in front of the cashier, but there's another cashier directly behind me, about 6 inches behind me. It makes absolutely no sense. And the thing about the amount of fear that's swirling around in these grocery stores right now is that it really honestly comes down to the manager and how much TV that these guys are watching, because honestly, the rules and regulations are actually just suggestions for the most part. So it's different depending on which one you go. The independent grocer in Squamish, for example, mandatory masks. Nesters and Save On, a few others, doesn't currently have mandatory masks. Because some of those people have managers who aren't watching too much TV. They're looking at the numbers, they're comparing the case numbers and the death rates, and they're comparing it with other diseases and other years, and they're realizing there's no need to force masks on their customers. They realize it doesn't make sense that COVID somehow seems to be magically like a smart disease or something. It knows that it needs to go to parks and restaurants and gyms and schools and churches, yet it's not going to affect anyone in liquor stores or grocery stores or the Walmart. But funny enough, we can actually give credit to COVID for one interesting thing. It seems to have essentially eradicated the influenza flu. The normal common cold is now gone. Have you noticed that? We don't have that anymore. And even ISIS. Remember state-sponsored terrorism? I mean, that's COVID. So people are afraid because they're being tricked into being afraid. But that's okay. It's important that we move on for our children's sake, really. The Bible says that if you're going to judge someone, you judge them by their fruits. A good tree is not going to produce bad fruit, and a bad tree is not going to produce good fruits. So when we look at the government here and we want to judge how are they doing with their COVID-19 response measures, how do we do that? We judge them by their fruits, right? And what we are seeing today, guys, the economy is being destroyed. Mom and pops are being wiped out. Depression is on the rise. Suicide is up. Alcoholism is up. These are the fruits of their labor, and we have to recognize it for what it is and say no more. Now, those of you who know me know that politically and morally speaking, I'm a voluntarist, meaning that I believe in voluntary interactions, and I'm also an advocate for free markets. So I really don't believe that we need to be looking to the government to solve any of the problems that have been created by the government. I think it's going to be increasingly important to take the responsibility upon ourselves to make sure that we are free moving forward. In order to maintain our freedoms, I think one of the key areas that we're going to have to focus on moving forward, guys, is food freedom. How many people today are currently growing their own food or have ever attempted to grow their own food at some point in their lives? Good. That's a good number. That's great. I want to encourage people who haven't to dive in, start learning to grow your own food. It's absolutely crucial. You can start small. You can have a tiny indoor garden. You can have an outdoor garden. But you just need to start making the necessary steps to be able to make yourself completely self-sustainable and non-reliant on this government that is oppressing us here. Because the only thing that government really fears the most right now is an independent, well-educated population who's based in faith and community and who doesn't need to rely on the government for anything. That's the biggest thing that they fear, guys. And those are the kind of people that I want to be. Those are the kind of people that I want to surround myself with, which, hence again, is why I come to be with you fine folks. So, food freedom is essential. Networking with like-minded individuals is going to be crucial moving forward. So if you're not a farmer yourself, and maybe if you don't know any, try to meet some. Make some friends with some farmers, guys. They're going to be lifesavers moving forward, which again is why companies like Monsanto, for example, are working in tandem with the governments to destroy the lives of farmers over the past decade, because they know where this is going as well. So yes, we have to focus on the food, but it's really important moving forward that we also have access to good information. There is a serious information war going on right now. The powers that ought not to be are currently censoring me very heavily. They do not want this information coming to the masses. I don't know if you're aware, I've been banned on YouTube. I didn't get a copyright strike. I had no community guideline strikes. 272,000 subscribers. It's all original content. Over 1,600 videos of interviews and rallies like this, all original, gone in the blink of an eye. They just disappeared that. My Facebook was also terminated. I had a fan page with 350,000 followers. They just deleted that with no explanation, again, because they want to silence this type of info from getting out. I've been suspended on Twitter multiple times when I talk out about these types of things. And believe it or not, I'm being banned at Tim Hortons, Canada's own Tim Hortons. If you try to go on pressfortruth.ca on a Tim Hortons Wi-Fi, they won't let you. They don't want you reading my information. So again, there's a major information war going on, and the attack is heavy right now. But I have my weapons as well, and I'm going to need you guys to help me with the ammo. And you can do that by joining these other decentralized sites like BitChute and Minds and Library and Float. If you go to pressfortruth.ca, you can find where I am on all these sites. But moving forward, these are the sites that don't censor this type of information. And in a free market, these are the types of businesses that we need to promote moving forward. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on doing. So just to wrap it up, guys, I know we're short on time today. I would say learn to grow your own food is absolutely key. Become self-sustainable, completely non-reliant on the government whatsoever. Network with like-minded individuals, and make sure you have access to good information. The controlled networks, Alphabet Inc., Google, YouTube, are not, it's changing, let's face it. They're turning it into the TV of yesterday, is what they want it to be today. So we need to, in the spirit of a true open free market, migrate away from these places. Get off Facebook, get off YouTube, and start joining these other decentralized platforms who do truly believe in free speech. So that's the message I wanted to bring here today, guys. I don't want to take up too much time. I know we started a little bit late, so thank you so much for being here. And if you want to come chat with me, I'll be here all day. Just come find me. Thanks so much.
My first protest was May 2nd in Toronto to end the lockdown. And it was my very first time actually attending any type of protest. And the reason why I bring it up again, and I said that yesterday, is you can do the same thing, guys. Every single one of you can make a difference by interacting with people on a daily basis and empowering people with knowledge, empowering people with compassion, empowering people with understanding. And that's what Hugs of a Mask represents. So I've been traveling across this country, being in Ottawa for July 1st, big rally there. I met a lot of people. Actually, our Winnipeg chapter started on that day when I met Kelly from Winnipeg. Give it up for Winnipeg, everybody. Like, we have people coming all the way from Winnipeg. No excuses. Right? Right? Yes or yes? Yes! All right. So, and then the funny thing I always make about the movement, in the sense, I started this movement so I can hug as many people as possible, and that's what I've been doing for the last 6 months, thousands and thousands of people across this country, and guess what? I'm the healthiest that I've ever been. Because hugs actually boost your immune system. What a concept! Like, come on, like seriously. You know, the experts give you the health advice. Think about this. Billions of dollars being invested to make health and safety of this country, right? Why on earth Canadians are unhealthiest they ever been in the last 7 months? Wouldn't it be the opposite? If the government's measures and money actually invested in the health should increase of the population. Well, that should be the sign to tell you that it's not, and we know that, but I'm just saying that when you're talking to people, right? Remember, it's those questions when you're asking them and planting the seed of doubt, and give it time and pause and think about it. You know, if all the measures of the government was actually to increase your health, then maybe they should get healthier, right? So the other thing that I want to say in terms of the symbolism, right? And then David Icke mentioned that yesterday too. So if you haven't heard David Icke yesterday, he talked about symbolism, right? Understand that symbols are very important, right? That's why the mask, even though mask is just a mask itself, but it also represents tyranny. It represents oppression, and it represents someone being fearful. So when you're not wearing a mask, guys, when you're not wearing a mask, you're actually standing for freedom, and you're standing for the courage. And that's what the symbol that we have to go forward across this world at this point. Do not acquiesce. We have to stand the ground. And a lot of times things will get uncomfortable. And that's just, again, the choices that we have to take and the risk we have to take, and it comes with responsibilities. But if not us, who will do it then? We have to do it. The other thing that we talked about this already, and we have to come from the positivity again. Before they marked us as a second wave, we're gonna claim it. We are the second wave. We are the second wave of the civil rights movement. The parallels are uncanny if you think about the civil rights movements in the 60s, in the South, in the States, right? When you have segregation, where people could not come together. You know, you can drink from the same fountain of water. The water fountain has been shut down because of this COVID anyway, right? But, you know, the kids, if they're not gonna wear a mask in Ontario, guys, they have to sit in the back of the class. They're not allowed to play with other kids. Segregation, anybody here? Right? When you're not allowed to go and shop in the store, segregation, anybody here? Again, understand, doing the outside pickup BS is still discrimination.
Yes.
Do not allow the businesses to dictate your rights in this province especially. Please understand, you have no mandates except for the transit link from the government and the ferries, because ferries falls under the Transport Canada.
The ferries!
We're going to talk about that. But what I'm trying to get you guys, understand, in BC, you don't have any mandates at all. In Ontario they do, in Quebec they do at the municipal level, now at the provincial level. But that's something that we have to understand, that you guys all have to stand the ground. And you have to talk to other people and educate them about that. That you don't have to wear the mask. All you do is say, I'm exempt, if you have to. Otherwise, just say, no, I'm not going to wear it. And the businesses say that, oh, it's a private business, I can make my rules. No, no. If your business is open to public, you have to accommodate the public access. That's the difference. And when they try to tie things up together, you know, no shoes, no shirts, no service, no, that's different. That's decency, and this is my civil right, to come in here and shop, because this business is open to public. Yes or yes? I'm not going to take a lot of time because I want to bring someone truly inspirational for me, and I'm going to share my slot of time here. Talking about the universe and being here by design. And the word design can actually stand for divine sign. And I heard that saying from this true human of such a spirit and light, and it's a great pleasure and privilege for me to bring on stage one of their original Hug Squad members, Paul. Come on up. Give it up for Paul, everybody.
I'm just tired and
disowned me for doing this. Just before they did, I said, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for my 2 kids. And I can't believe that you won't do it for them either. And I had to make a choice between saving my 2 sons and my family, all of them except my mom, because she's always been into beats and gems and she likes David Icke, but she is in Utah. So I don't go to family dinners. I didn't do Thanksgiving with them. And what the funny thing was is that I didn't care, because they will see what's coming. They will see. And I don't care if little punk Antifa kids are here that are brainwashed.
Yeah, they're right over there.
And they're taking pictures of me, and they're giving me the finger, because we are God's people.
Yeah, get them out of here.
We are God's people, and we love all races and all sexualities. And you can lie to everybody and say that we're racist and we're homophobe. I have 4 gay men in my family. I worked for Disney as a dancer. All my best friends are gay. I had a black boyfriend for a year. I had a Chinese boyfriend for 5 years, and I wanted to marry him, but he broke up with me. And anything the news says, or these little punks who are brainwashed and they want to see you masked, they want to see every one of these kids masked for the rest of their life. They want to convert our children into non-sexual beings. They want communism. They want FEMA camps. And they don't understand that these punks half our age, we are saving their children. So you can take your pictures, honey, and you can be, you know what's funny is you're the angriest people in this city. Isn't that interesting? The most angry people are the kids that are angry. These kids are angry that we're happy and that we want freedom, and it upsets them. We are the true Canadians. My grandfather died to keep us away from people like that. So little Antifa punks, you're welcome, but I'm saving your life. So, don't screw with Mama Bear, Antifa. You will lose badly. And God is with me today. And God is with all of us. And as Vlad says, this is gonna get spicy. It's gonna get spicy. But in the Bible, we know how it ends. We know how it ends. And it doesn't go well for people that want to destroy freedom. So on Tuesday, I will see you guys at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. at City Hall to let them know how we feel about the fact they've been lobbied so hard to mask every city worker in this city all day long, 5 days a week in their office. And this dragon lady who's accepting bribes, who's kissing butt to her higher up master, decides she wants to mask all these poor city workers.
No.
Based on zero science.
No.
And she's decided to accept the bribe.
Walk away.
I will be there on Tuesday with the scientific facts written by Canadian doctors explaining her fraud. And I need people out there supporting me before I go in. So get up early, grab a coffee, not at Starbucks, and come with your signs tout science over Satan. I'll see you on Tuesday at City Hall. Bright and shiny.
What time?
At 8 a.m. or 9 or 9:30, but 8's the best. Okay, just come by 9. But if you're late, even later is fine. Just get there. Okay, thank you, kids, for inspiring me to become a better person.